pleasure to introduce Carmen Pizarro, who is an alumna with Community Education Center. It's an honor to have you with us. And you're here to tell your story about, in fact, you've had an interesting background. You spent 5 years incarcerated. But you came out of that situation and you were connected to the Bo Robinson Treatment and Assessment Center, which is part of the Community Education Center's world. When you were incarcerated, describe that situation.
Actually, I was incarcerated twice. My first time I went into incarcerated, I was only 21 years old. I was young, and I was basically very influenced. And you know, at that point in time, I didn't get the opportunity to participate in programs like CEC. I came home from the Edna Correctional Institution. So unfortunately, I didn't get the time to prepare myself to go back out into society. So at the first sign of opposition, I kind of came back to my old lifestyle, which resulted in me returning.
Dealing.
Yes, and
was that natural? I don't mean to say natural, but the idea of dealing drugs, did that seem like an option that was just too easy? Accessible, I don't know what the right word is.
Coming from...
you grew up in Asbury Park, right?
Yeah, I grew up in Asbury Park, and actually I come from a very dysfunctional family, and both of my parents, they had me. My mother was 14, my dad was 16 when they had me, and my mom actually gave me away to my aunt. Unbeknown to her, my aunt was a heroin addict. So the environment that I grew up, drugs was something that was always available. So within that environment, unfortunately, it was normal and it was natural. So when I ended up in foster care and I ran into the streets, to sell drugs was definitely, I guess, an easier option for me because it was always available.
So let me ask you this. And we've interviewed several folks who we've met through community education centers, and I'm always curious, which is in fact an organization committed to the alternative to the traditional incarceration system, to education, to training, to preparing people for life. What, not that it's any one thing, but what has it been that has caused you to turn your life around? Because right now, you're a successful business person. Tell folks what you're doing.
Thank you. I own a hair salon in Asbury Park.
You want to plug it? Go ahead.
Yes, the Doobie Shop, 413 Bond Street in
Do it
Asbury
again.
Park.
The Doobie Shop?
Yes, where we do authentic Dominican doobies.
And I stepped on the address. Go ahead.
413 Bond Street, Asbury Park.
How much you love doing it?
I love it because I'm able to take, I believe in God, and I believe that God gives each person certain gifts. And I was given the ability that I'm a good people person. I'm able to do business, and I'm able to take my gift and do something positive with it. I'm able to give jobs. Right now, I have 9 employees.
Wow.
They're able to provide for their families and give their families a better quality of life. I'm able to help women, build their self-esteem up by making themselves look pretty and feel good about themselves. And those are like one of the greatest rewards of my job.
You spent those 5 years in prison. Was it in prison or was it at the Bo Robinson facility that you began to see that there was another way?
Actually, from the moment that I went into the prison, my second time, I realized that unless I changed certain things about my life, that this was going to become one of the places that I was going to spend the rest of my life, and I didn't want that. But I also didn't know how to change. For me, it took a spiritual awakening, and I asked God to come into my heart and to help me change. He used outlets like CEC to provide me with the necessary tools that I needed for me to be able to make certain changes of my life. Because people, a lot of times people don't realize, but people that grew up in these urban communities and come from these dysfunctional families, they, they're expected to go to jail, and penalized for the crimes, and they expected to come home and do the right thing. But some people never did the right thing and don't even know what the right thing is.
Even if they want to.
Exactly. So it's like about educating people. That's why I do take the time to go back into Bo Robinson, and I do take the time and try to speak to women and educate them and prepare simple things about how do you communicate with an employer when you go to a job interview, what do you wear, how do you call them back and speak to them on the phone.
Don't know that.
You know,
How do you communicate in a job interview? What to wear in a job interview? What not to say in a job interview? Keep going. Talk about some skills.
let's create an email. People
What?
don't even have no computer skills, but you have to upload a resume and you have to email it, and you don't even have an email. So these are little things that, whereas though normal society takes for granted, it's like, oh, everybody knows that, little kids know that. But yeah, for a person that has been in a drug and criminal lifestyle all their life, that's something foreign to them.
How about listening skills?
Exactly. To be able to cope with sometimes, you know, like one of my old counselors used to tell me, just because you're ready to play fair now doesn't mean that the world's going to be fair with you. So you have to be able to deal with people that might not be so nice, you know, and you have to be able to cope and still be able to effectively communicate with them.
As opposed to first time you come up against that?
Exactly. You go back to your old behaviors.
Which
and
could
now,
be?
You can go back to being argumentative, you can go back to fighting, and then you're going to go back to prison, you know, only because you lack certain skills.
What's it like for you when you know that you're reaching, I'm sure you talk to young women and young men, but particularly young women. Carmen, what's it like for you when you know you are connecting with, reaching a young woman who is at some sort of crossroads? I don't want to make it overly dramatic, but because there's got to be constant opportunities and temptations to falter or whatever. But when you know you're connecting and you have an opportunity to make a difference, what's that like for you?
To me, it's like, to me, it feels like, I don't know, T.D. Jakes says that when you're walking...
Who's this?
T.D. Jakes.
Are you now you're going to date me? Like, right now, are you going to make me feel so old by naming someone? Who is that?
No, T.D. Jakes is the pastor T.D. Jakes.
Oh, I thought you were going to name a rapper that I didn't know.
No. T.D. Jakes said that when you're walking in your purpose, you'll know it because you get a natural high. And when I'm able to connect with young ladies that are heading in the same path that I've been through, and I'm able to show that not only like I know where you're coming from, I can identify with you because I've been there, and to see like when they it's a difference when someone else speaks to them and when someone who knows what your pain is, what your struggles is, what your oppositions is, because it's like a more intimate connection with them, and you know it's like there is a more credibility there, and I'm able to show them, I'm able to give them some sort of hope that, you know what, if she could do it, I can do it too. You know, and that's, to me, that's the greatest reward. You know, oftentimes the justice system, women are double penalized. You know what I'm saying? The way our society is set up, it's like women go away for crimes, and it's like not only are they being punished for the crimes they committed, but at the same time, society kind of forgets about them. The way the justice system is set up is mostly geared to providing services and opportunities for men, ex-offenders, not for women, you know? And to me, like, it's crucial to be a voice for women because, I mean, right now, currently in the Enderman Correctional Facility, which is the only prison that we have, yes, for women, there's 780-something women there, and these women also need services too. These women also need to be taught certain skills, and unfortunately, everything is so limited when it comes to the women.
You're an advocate.
I am, because I am one of them women, and I want to show they're giving us, if they give us the opportunities and the resources, that we can change.
Who's your role model? You were telling me before we got in here. What do you watch on TV? I thought when I asked you your favorite TV show, you were going to say